All right, so solving inequalities with variables on both sides. So we're continuing on, keep pushing forward, doing all of these things with equations, or doing all of these things with inequalities that we've already done with equations, right? Now we're solving inequalities with variables on both sides. The rules still remain the same. Remember the whole get rid of the little guy thing? That's going to apply even more here. Why? Because I really don't want negatives now. I do not want negatives now, because the negative in the end will end up flipping the symbol. So I want to avoid negatives at all costs. Okay? Sometimes it's unavoidable, but I want to avoid negatives at all costs. So getting rid of the little guy is extremely important. Some inequalities have variable terms on both sides. Remember, we can collect the variable terms to one side and all constants to the other, and then solve. So y is less than or equal to 4y plus 18. Remember, there are, yes?
What if getting rid of the little guy
creates a negative? I know. See, remember, there's these times when we have to break the rule a little bit, where we can't leave nothing on one side of the inequality. So yeah, I'm going to have to actually, of course, it's the first one up here. I do have to break that rule a little bit here. Again, breaking the rule does not mean you will get the answer wrong. It just makes it a little bit more difficult in the end. See why? If I don't follow the get rid of the little guy rule here, which I can't follow that rule, I'm going to get a negative 3y is less than or equal to 18. Now, you see what happens? It creates a negative. How do I solve this now? Divide by what? Negative 3. What do I have to do now? Flip the symbol. So this less than or equal to turns into a greater than or equal to negative 6. Okay? So you just have to watch out for that. If you break the rule of getting rid of the little guy, you'll have to flip the symbol in the end. Yeah.
So what I did is I subtracted like the 1y or 4y and then minus negative 18 the other side, negative 18. But I got a different answer.
You should have. Did you get a 3y on the right side?
Oh, no, never mind. My y is just on the other side of the negative.
Okay, and then when you flip it around, it should work out. So y is less than or equal to negative 6. Again, we graph the solutions. I'll show you one more time how it should look like on your homeworks. You should have a 0 with your point. So I've got 0 and negative 6. Is it going to be an open or closed circle on negative 6? Closed circle. Kyler, get your head up. And then it's pointing to the right. To the right. Again, that means that any number to the right of negative 6 would be a solution. Is 0 a solution? Yeah, if I plugged in 0, will this work? 0 is less than or equal to 0 plus 18. 0 is less than or equal to 18. That does check out, right? You can always plug in a number that's, covered up by the arrow. Okay. Let's keep making it more difficult now. Okay, we've got 2, and then k minus 3 is greater than 6 plus 3k minus 3. What do I have to do first here? What do I have to do first? Somebody haven't talked to you today. Trip. Distribute. To get 2k minus 6. What do I have to do on the right side? Let's go from Hayden to Hayden. Runner, what do I have to do? Good. And what do I get? 6 minus 3 is? Positive 3 plus 3k. Okay, now, which one is the little guy? Somebody tell me. Somebody who I haven't talked to yet today. Trebek, which is the little guy? 2k or 3k? 2k. So now I subtract the 2k from both sides. Bring down the negative 6 is greater than 3 plus, 3k minus 2k is 1k, or just k. Okay? Okay. Finish it off, subtract the 3. So we get a negative 9 is greater than k, and remember that I like my variable on the left side. So I'm going to put K on the correct side. So that means the symbol has to flip there. K is less than -9. Here's -9 and here's 0. Elena, is that going to be a open or closed dot on -9? Open dot. Good. Open dot. And then Berkeley, is that going to go to the left or to the right?
It's going to the left.
Good. Okay, Joey, is 0 a solution to this inequality? If I plug in 0, will it be correct? No. Good. No. It would not be correct because it's not being covered up by the arrow. If I plugged in 9, everybody listen to this question. If I plugged in 9, -9. If I plugged in -9, would it be a correct solution?
No.
No. No. It is an open circle on -9, even though the -9 would be where these things are equal, not greater than. Okay. Do this one on your own. I was running this morning and I totally bit it. I totally fell to the ground. It's bad. It was icy out. Like it was snowing this morning.
This
I swear to
is
you, it was
why
snowing.
Ohio is one of the
totally,
absolute worst.
I went down to the ground.
This is why Ohio.
Nobody
is
saw
one
me
of
too.
the-
I was like down on the ground. Nobody see me? Yeah. Start running.
It's why Ohio is one of the worst places
Well,
for the weather.
it might be a little bit icier in like Alaska.
And
5 times 2 is 10.
true.
5 times R is 5R. 3 times R is 3R. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, which one is the little guy? Gone. We got a keep dropping this. Negative. Remember, negative is always a smaller one. So I want to add 5R to both sides. That gets me 10 is greater than or equal to 8R minus 6. We add the 6 to both sides. We get 16. We divide by 8. We get 2. Am I going to leave my answer like that? Flip it around. R is going to be less than or equal to 2. Closed dot at 2, pointing to the left. Questions about that? All right, so let's do a word problem. Let's do a word problem here. A plus advertising charges a fee of $24 plus 10 cents per flyer that it prints. To print and deliver. Print and more charges just 25 cents per flyer. Okay, so I've got these two places. Right, the first copy place is a $24 flat fee, but then they charge only 10 cents per flyer. So a really small fee per flyer, but they have an upfront charge of $24. The second place is a little bit larger per flyer fee, 25 cents, a quarter per flyer, but they don't charge you any upfront. So if like you're going to get like 5 flyers, are you going to go to the A plus or the print and more? Print and more, obviously, because it's going to be cheaper, right? You don't have to pay the 24 bucks up front if you just want that little amount. But if you're getting like 1 million flyers, where are you going to go? A plus, right? So where is the threshold? Where is that tipping point from one to the next? We want to know for how many flyers is the cost at A plus less than the cost at print and more. It's an academic challenge.
Put it on.
No, I got mine on already.
You got 2 of them?
Why you got
No, this is a student one from last year. She was a senior last year, so she's giving back her t-shirt. So that we can wear for our team. I'll have to let you guys know when we start up the student section back on the challenge.
Okay, I'll be there.
We'll have to do the ticket lottery, like the football team.
I mean, we can do the wave if you want to.
Last year, they had themes. Like there was like a Thanksgiving theme one time, and then there was like a Christmas theme one time.
Yeah. Jersey Day.
Jersey Day, we can do that if you wanted to. Yeah. There'll be different themes. It was like a beach day. Yeah. Yeah. We had to tell them to keep it down a little bit. You got a lot of heated during the matches. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not kidding. There was actually a student section.
Really?
Yeah, they actually came. It was great.
Where did that happen?
It's just in here.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but we had to open up the garage door and like have an overflow room into Mrs. Apple's. Okay, so A plus was 24 plus an additional 10 cents, 0.1 per flyer. Let's say F. Print and more is just 25 cents. They don't have that initial charge. Okay, so how do I solve this? How do I solve this? Okay.
You would subtract 0.7.
Good. Oh, that's a 1. There you go. All right, so it's 24 is less than, okay, 0.25 minus 0.1 gets us 0.15. 0.15 F. And then divide it over to the other side. So 24 divided by 0.15 gets us 160. 160 is less than F. But again, let's flip it around to say F is greater than 160. Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? Baker.
If you buy 160 or under 160 flyers, or sorry, over 160 flyers, then it's cheaper.
Good, and then it's cheaper to go to A plus rather than print and more. Right. That's the threshold. That 160 flyers is the threshold. So let's restate the question and the answer. A plus is less than, again, I'm abbreviating, print and more for over 160 flyers. Can you just say 160 flyers? Like, will that be acceptable on next week's test? Oh, you cannot just say 160 flyers. You need to reference the inequality. Okay, like the last thing that we did in equations was identities and contradictions. This is when the variables canceled out. Guys, when the variables canceled out and you got something true, what was your answer? Like if you got 6 equals 6, what was your answer? All real numbers. If you got like 1 equals 6, what was your answer? No solutions, right? So it was either an all real numbers or a no solutions. Remember, when that happens, you either get a true statement or a false statement. The same thing is going to apply, but we just have to think about it a little bit more because it's no longer an equality, it's an inequality. Like if you got 1 is less than 7, yeah, those numbers don't match, but they don't have to match, right? It's not an equality, it's an inequality. Is 1 is less than 7, is that a true statement? Yes, then it's all real numbers. If your variables cancel out and you get a false statement, like 7 is less than 0, is 7 less than 0? No, that's a no solution. That's a contradiction, that's a false statement, okay? So the answer would be no solution. So you just have to use the, use common sense to figure out whether it be all real numbers or no solution. For example here, how would I solve this one? How would I get x to be moved over? David? Ooh, let's not add 7 first. Let's move a variable first. How would I move this variable over to the other side, David? Subtract 2x. I like to make the variables cancel. So I always like to move the variables first. Because once it leaves us with, like, this is going to cancel, this is going to cancel, it's easiest to see with just numbers there. Is that a true statement? Is -7 less than 5? Yeah, last time I checked, -7 was less than 5. Don't get thrown off by the or equal to. Did the or equal to throw you off?
Yeah.
All the or equal to means is that the left side could come up to 5 and be at 5 if we really wanted it to be.
Definitely.
That's a true statement right here. That's a true statement, right? -7 is less than or equal to 5. That is a true statement. All real numbers. Again, don't get thrown off by the or equal to. All that or equal to means is that the left side could match the right side if we really wanted it to. It's not like a less than and equal to. It's the less than or equal to. Pardon.
So are we not done plotting on another line?
When it comes out to being all real numbers, there are no solutions, we don't plot on a number line. Yeah. Because like a no solutions would just be like a blank number line, and then all real numbers would just be like a line on top of the analytic going forward. All right, let's solve this one here. We distribute with the 4 to get 4y minus 4 is greater than or equal to 4y plus 2. Notice here I've got 4y's on both sides. We subtract out the 4y on both sides. We get -4 and then a 2. Okay, is -4 greater than or equal to 2? No, that is a false statement, right? -4 is less than 2. So since this is a false statement, my answer is no solution. Let me stop the recording and give you your homework.
Oh.